Alright, this is my video review of the F-4J Kai / Type-82F Zuikaku from Muv-Luv Alternative Total Eclipse. This is another figure in the Volks A3 line, and in the story it's basically an upgraded version of the regular F-4 Phantom used by the Japanese Imperial Royal Guard until they got the Type-00 Takamikazuchi. You can kind of see how they started off with the F4 design and sort of worked backward from the Takamikazuchi to create the Zuikaku here. I'm just going to take these guys out of the frame and talk about the Zuikaku. So similar to how this is a customized, upgraded version of the F4 in story, the figure is also a much improvement over the regular F4 Phantom, particularly in the realm of articulation. We kind of start off with the up top. The head can move a lot more. It does kind of turn downwards a little bit as you move the head, but I think it works all right with the more aggressive and ornate design. But it's definitely a lot better at actually just looking forward, which I think is always very important. We still got a nice working waist joint in here. It's got an ab crunch that moves on the clicking A-lock joint, kind of a soft click, but still works pretty well. Similarly, the stuff that's carried over from the F4 as far as the hips go, you can do this with the hips. You can click them in and out. It's a pretty kind of harder click than it needs to be. And also the jump units like to fall off because they're just pegged in on this one tab right there. Might want to thicken that up a little bit. Okay, so kind of going back to the arms here, kind of see these panels do move in and out, which is what allows you to get the shoulders to move all the way. And there's a panel you kind of see both on the front and on the back. So that all moves together. And the pauldrons do move up and down. There's also a little flap right here. You kind of use this to brace the arm, brace the pauldron against the arm if you want to keep it like in the up position. Mine's a little loose. I bought this guy second hand. Despite the fact this guy kind of looks like he has parts shared with the F4, almost everything is new besides the jump units. One thing they actually did change slightly for the worse is you cannot rotate the forearm to give you a little extra elbow movement. Basically, this is all you kind of get with the elbow right here. You do still have you know, a movement like this in the shoulders. You can kind of bring them up like that. And there's also an A-lock joint in here that goes in and out, in addition to a bicep swivel. Now, another improvement, very much an improvement, is that the ankles are a lot better on this guy. The much slimmer feet, the kind of nice wider footprint also helps a lot, but these can actually move like all the way like this and all the way like that. And also they tilt a lot more, so coupled with the really great hips, you can actually get this guy to stand like this, like that. So that's pretty good. Another one of the best improvements, I gotta say, is the knees are much better, mostly due to just how this guy was redesigned. So instead of that plug-in accordion bit that covers the knee joint, you actually have these little flaps on the back that you just kind of pop them out the interior here, and you can actually move this whole thing up almost 90 degrees. So that's pretty good. I'm going to take the jump units off just real quick, just because they're a little insecure right now. And I'm going to show you can actually get this guy into a pretty decent kneeling pose. Yeah, just like that. So that's pretty good for the, oh, yeah, just kind of have to balance them out though. So yeah, definitely an improvement over the regular F4, which could never hope to kneel like that unless you modified it heavily. So that's kind of how it is improved in articulation. Accessories wise, it's actually identical to one of the versions of the F4, the Gekishin, the F-4J, regular F-4J. Yeah, let's put those jump units back in there. Kind of see they just go in once again on tiny little tabs, which probably should get strengthened. So let's talk accessories now. So you got a pair of fists, pretty standard. Also a pair of splayed hands, if you want some of those. Weapons-wise, you get a pair of hands holding the Type-87 assault cannon. This thing's based off of the real-life P9 and does have the very distinctive way that the hand actually grips the pistol, the grip on the gun itself. You don't get actually a pair of these for the mount pylons. Instead, with these mount pylons, these are actually just for swords. And the empty ones here, they only have a single joint. They all have the cool caution markings, like don't stand there lest you get crushed by a giant robot sword delivery system. And with the swords, again, you get a pair of these. These are the mount pylons with the sword. And the sword does not detach. This sword is only here to be part of this mount pylon. But these mount pylons actually have two joints, so it's a bit of a change up there. And the reason they have two joints is so that you can actually have the thing pretend to reach up and grab the sword. Keep it like that. Reach up and grab the sword. And then what you're supposed to do is, swap out that with a hand that, or with the bare mount pylon, and then put in a hand that does have the sword. So yeah, you do get the swords. Close-in weapon system, however you like to talk about those things. Melee halberd, long blade, that's what the visual novel translation calls it. Anyway, so you get a sword. Actually, you get two swords. Or four swords if you count the two on the back that can actually be detached. So yeah, that's really cool. This is kind of how you can see these are designed more like resin kits, where you can't really get away with lots of plug-and-play features besides peg and hole stuff. Also, you get a pair of hands holding knives, similar to the regular F4. It holds the knives facing downward. So it seems to be either they hold them facing upward or facing downward. And the last accessory, this is the one I was excited for, but it turned out to be not super great. This is what is called Supplemental Armor, which is basically just a shield. So you can kind of see it's got three little holes in the back, and that is for positioning the hand that has the handle mounted to it. These little pegs are kind of, or these holes are a little tight for the peg, so I actually usually just do this one. This is probably the best one anyway. The handle, or the hand, only moves right where it grips the handle right here. Does not move right there. Don't try to move it right there. Unlearn what you learned from Bandai with Gundam kits. And overall, the thing, it's very thick, and it's actually kind of heavy. Doesn't help that mine has kind of loose joints, but yeah, it's a little bit heavy for the thing. It's nice and big and meaty, and these little panels here are actually reactive armor panels. Because the cool thing with these shields is they can become a melee weapon. So all you do is you pull that part out, and then detach this little spacer piece right there. Plug this in to the front like that. And now this becomes a punching shield. So now it can hit things and the little panel explodes and you just ruin some poor beta's day. So yeah, just because of the weight of the thing, it is a little hard for it to balance. Yeah, I kind of see right there. Overall, definitely a good figure. There are three variations of this to look out for. There's the red one here, there's a blue one, the Type-82R. There's also the Type-82C, which has been a more charcoal gray. They're a little rarer to see in the aftermarket, not too expensive though, so I would check Mandarake Jungle Shop or Yahoo Japan Auctions. Great figure, wonderful red color there, very glossy and beautiful. So yeah, check back here for more level reviews. I got a good one coming up next.